All right, all right, all right. Really cool guest I have for Chain Link Sports Talk. I have Steve Orosco. I hope I said that right, Steve.
Yes, you did.
Steve Orosco, former MMA fighter, and he also founded his own fighting league, SMASH Global. They host a lot of fighting events for all kinds of professional fighters. Steve, I've never really been able to speak to somebody like you before, who's been in the fighting industry before. So it's really awesome talking to you. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So I mentioned before that you were a fighter before you founded Smash Global, and did a little bit of research on you, and I saw that your record was 7-1, if I'm correct, when you were
Correct.
fighting.
Correct.
So, which is pretty good. By the way, I tip my cap to you. So, out of those 7 victories, which one stands out to you the most?
I mean, it's always going to be the loss. I don't even ever focus on the victory because you don't learn anything from your victory. But I
Right.
feel like when you lose, those are your defining moments. And that fight literally took everything out of me. That was a hard L to take. I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. I realized what hometown advantage truly was. And flying all the way to Australia and having to lose 25 pounds in 4 or 5 days, and being the main event, and you're fighting at, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. When you're on the Aussie time, it
Right.
was harder than I thought.
And then, what number fight was that for you that you lost?
That was number 8. So it was my first loss and my last fight.
Oh wow, okay. And then
Yeah,
so like
and for
this,
me,
right? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. So for me, I had, when I had lost, I was 34 years old, 1 year old at home. I've had 2 knee surgeries, shoulder surgery. I just knew it was time. I knew I wasn't gonna be the next George St. Pierre, because by the time I went back to the drawing board and trained, and I would have to have another 4 or 5 fights just to get, to the UFC kind of thing. So I was like, something, I don't
Right.
love this enough to keep on going.
Yeah, gotcha. So then, from your fighting career, and I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons, especially from that last fight. Like you said, all the things that you've realized later on. But what from your fighting career have you kind of taken to your post-fighting career, into your work with Smash Global?
Definitely understanding the business itself. For me, when I was fighting, the only thing I didn't like about my sport was the crowd. And not that the crowd's a bad thing, but the sport came from a very NASCAR grassroots, no rules, no sanctioning, no weight classes. And because of it, you had a different demographic than what boxing has. Boxing has centuries of history and build up, people with money in the first place, distinguished gentleman kind of sport. And I wanted that boxing crowd to come watch MMA. And to do that, you have to package it in a way that they're going to want to come. So I package it in a black tie setting, higher ticket price point that kind of phases out majority of the MMA community, and it brings in the 40 to 60-year-old entrepreneurs, and they bring their wives and they have dinner, and it
Right.
becomes a social experience.
That's mandatory. The black tie attire.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Interesting.
not everybody comes in a tuxedo, but everybody comes dressed.
Right.
Whether it's a suit or a button down. Rarely do you see people in jeans and sneakers. But it is LA, so once in a while that will happen, obviously. But if you do it in New York City, that would never happen.
Yeah. And then, why did you choose to go that route? Like, is that to almost like separate yourself from the other fighting divisions and make you more unique?
Very, yeah, just that niche market.
Okay. And then
And
so
again, it's also to
right,
elevate the sport that I love. Like, I love MMA,
right, right.
and I wanted to make it better. When I stopped fighting, it was either open up my own gym or start a fight league. And at the time, I didn't want my own gym. I always had I don't want to clean mats at 11 o'clock at night and be up there teaching class at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But fast forward to now, I kind of want one.
So like, do you kind of see that in the future for you, like almost like a Smash Global Gym where certain athletes can go and train
Yes,
there? Okay.
yes, exactly. It's kind of why I'm here actually in LA right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. So um, now I guess kind of like rewind a little bit. What were the origins of Smash Global, and like why did you want to get that started? after your fighting career? And then, you said, like either choosing between a gym and a fighting league, but what was like the ultimate decision in starting that and like those steps that led you to be where you are now?
Well, for me, um, I you know I went backwards. Where I went to college. I majored in finance. I got my MBA and my MS. I worked on Wall Street, so I was a corporate guy. I didn't start fighting until I think 28 or 29.
Okay.
So I understood business. I understood the black tie community. I understood that, that fast life, Wall Street, girls, cars, and fighting. And I knew I could tap into that market pretty easily. And I love the business of the sport. So I got licensed by the California State Athletic Commission, and the rest is history.
Was that kind of hard for you to start later on, in terms of your age, in terms of fighting? Like, were there people that were telling you, like, maybe that's not such a good idea?
Honestly, no. I don't think what the age matters as much as the amount of rounds you put in beforehand. So if you haven't had any fights and then you're 30, you're pretty fresh.
Okay,
You
yeah, that's
know,
true. That's true.
you're not taking punishment. That's why you see a lot of guys and they start really young. By the time they're 30, they're fizzled out because your body, your jaw just can't take it anymore.
Right, right.
And for me, I wrestled my whole entire life. And I think when you're a wrestler, you get away with a lot more than someone who's a striker.
Gotcha. Okay. Last question I have for you is, and you kind of touched upon
Shoot.
this. Um, I guess your future plans to expand Smash Global. I know you said that like maybe open up a gym, but I guess in terms of like the league itself, like
Yeah.
are you looking to be like a main competitor with the UFC and MMA, or you kind of want to keep it, like your whole uh, I guess kind of like niche that you have there with the black tie event. So what's your plans for the future?
Yeah. And in a perfect world, it would be to scale to other major cities. So New York and Boston, which is why we moved back to the East Coast.
Right.
Unfortunately, once we moved back, kind of COVID happened. So it put everything on hold. We can't have any shows with no fans and no spectators.
Yeah.
So until we're allowed to do that, we can't really do anything. Worst case scenario, maybe we'll do Miami or Tampa at the end of the first quarter of next year, because Florida is a red state and they're allowing fights with fans.
Okay. Gotcha.
But California is so blue. I mean, it's California shut down right now. They don't want you wearing a mask outside.
Right. Right. I know it's craziness. But yeah, that's all I got for you. That I think what you got going on in terms of like the black tie events and like the attire that at your fights, it's definitely really cool. I've never even been to a fight before, but I could kind of see like that like aura and that atmosphere would definitely like, separate yourself from the other division. So thank you, Steve. It's really been cool talking to you.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Anytime. Hit me up anytime if you need a guest. I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate you.
All right. I'll talk to you later, bro, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Be good.